Hey, we're joined by Jacob and Jerry Johnson this morning, and it is Health Monday, always the second Monday of the month. And gentlemen, I see you survived Hurricane Nate.
Survived Hurricane Nate.
Made it just through. Just barely made it.
Yeah, I mean, you think of a hurricane affecting east central Alabama, that's kind of one of those things that happens, I guess, occasionally. But
got a lot of rain.
Oh, yeah, and some wind. But hey, this month, October, is American Pharmacists Month, and congratulations on that.
Thank you. Celebrating.
They did it just for us.
Oh yeah. Now you guys, couple of years difference in age. Both of you attended Auburn University. How did you get started becoming a pharmacist, or even remotely thinking about it?
Well, for us, it was probably pretty natural. Our dad was a pharmacist, and so it was kind of what we knew. But we watched our dad growing up in the pharmacy, how he interacted with the patients and the relationship he had with people in the community, and that was something I think it definitely appealed to me. I'm assuming it was for you too.
Absolutely, yeah. You get to see it every day. You get to, my first, appeal, or call to pharmacy had nothing to do with medicine, believe it or not, so much as the interpersonal aspect of the community pharmacy job. And so, I didn't know anything about medicine, but I could, see with my own eyes how Dad dealt with people, how people looked at him, what he was able to do for people. I didn't know anything about medicine, but I could see that.
Well, being American Pharmacists Month, we have a number of kids that are, not all of them want to be bull riders like the young man who was in a few minutes ago, but several kids, their niche in life or their profession they want to be involved in is becoming a pharmacist. What's the procedure of doing that?
Sure. Well, first of all, let me tell you this, kids. Be serious about your studies now, because you're going to have the right kind of grades in high school so that you can go to the college that you need to go to. Generally speaking, to be a pharmacist, you have to have a minimum of 3 years of prerequisites. That just means your courses to get you ready for pharmacy school. And pharmacy school itself is a 4-year curriculum. So you're looking at a minimum of 7 years. A lot of persons will take 4 years to get a degree and then start pharmacy school for a total of 8 years. Then there are people who decide after that pharmacy school to do residencies or fellowships or further training. So minimum of 7, but some people take up to 8 or 9 years to do their training.
And Jacob, it's got to be exciting to hear and see kids who want to become pharmacists and continue. Maybe, you guys are a family company, and so it's got to be exciting to see other kids want to become a part of that.
I choose to believe that the only reason people want to become a pharmacist is because of me. Not true, but I choose to believe that. Honestly, right now, starting just at Auburn, there are 2 pharmacy schools in the state, Auburn and Sanford. Just this fall at Auburn, 4 students from Sylacauga started pharmacy school. So of their 120 on campus at Auburn right now, 4 of them are from Sylacauga.
That's fantastic.
They got people from all over the world, and 4 from right here in Sylacauga. So no, it's wonderful to see interest in that, because we realize, of course, doing it, how important it is, and so it's huge for us to see a continued interest in that.
Jared, how important is it that we're acknowledging American Pharmacists Month, and pharmaceutical world has changed so much just in the guys of you've been pharmacists.
Oh, sure, it's changing all the time. One thing about it, guys, when you get done with your training, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many years it is, that never ends, right? So lifelong learners is what we teach at school, because the studies, the science out there is always giving us new information. Don't stay up to date on those things, we can't help our patients like we're supposed to, for sure.
What's the primary role of a pharmacist?
Pharmacists are the medication experts. So our job is to ensure that each patient has their use of medication is both safe and effective. That doesn't just involve, the pill itself. It is the pill or the liquid. It is what disease do they have. It is what complicating factors do they have. What special things do I need to know about this person that involve this, allergies, whatever. But if it's a question of medication and how that medication affects your disease or issue, that's a pharmacist's primary role. That's our job.
Wow. You ever think about how many prescriptions you guys feel in a year's time? I mean, it's got to be mind-boggling.
Oh, it's a bunch. It's well over 100,000, and so that's a pretty large number. You know, I tell you what, our biggest challenge. You didn't ask this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Our biggest challenge, and this is the biggest challenge of all pharmacists everywhere, is getting people to take their medications properly. We have a major problem in our country of people deciding not to take their medications or either doing it incorrectly for one reason or another. And that's part of the reason people end up in the hospital. People waste all kinds of money, and people are not as healthy as they could be. So, you know, to tag along with what Jacob said, one of our primary jobs is to see that people take their medication properly. So, guys, we need your help. We're going to do our best, but we need your help.
Well, certainly with October being American Pharmacist Month, and this group of people that watch this show are generally 50 and above. This is an active time of the year for you guys.
Yeah, between people getting sick at this time of year, we have a large growing population of weeds and allergens at this time of year. The weather is changing, all sorts of things. It's also time to get flu shots, which brings people in for pneumonia shots and everything else. So there's so many things going on for us right now. But when people are faced with these types of issues, what causes us to be so busy and helps us get to people is that pharmacists, people don't realize this, pharmacists are by far the most accessible healthcare provider. Try to walk into your doctor's office and talk to him face to face after waiting 2 minutes and talk as long as you want to. Give that a shot one day and see how that works. Because of the way schedulings work, we are by far the most accessible healthcare provider. So when people are getting sick or having allergy issues or anything else, we're the first people they come to, which is a good thing. We're fine with that. We want it to be that way. But yeah, so when you're having healthcare issues, just remember your pharmacist is the easiest person to get to and talk to on the healthcare team.
We're talking with Jacob and Jared Johnson of Marble City Pharmacy, and of course, first Monday, Help Monday, is our scheduled every second Monday of the month, and this is American Pharmacy Month. Roles that pharmacists play are many.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch. You traditionally think of walking into your community pharmacy and a bunch of people standing behind the counter counting pills. You hand them a prescription and you give it a little while. 10 minutes at our place, a couple hours if you go somewhere else.
That's right.
But anyway, sorry about that. And then you get your medication back and you walk out. And that's kind of deceiving. You kind of think there's not much involved in the process. So, we can kind of talk about what all goes into looking at your age and looking at the dose of your medication, that sort of thing while you're in there. But there's a whole bunch of things pharmacists do beyond that. We spend a lot of time working on patients, counseling them on their entire medication profile. We'll go over their medications to educate them on the right time to take them. Where do you store them, in the fridge or where else? We go out in the community for community outreach, immunizations, health screenings, on and on and on and on.
And of course, now's the time of the year, and we talked about this a little bit last month about particular shots that we need to have for the latter part of 2017 and 2018. How's that going?
It's going well. It is going very busy, which is a good thing. And it's a perfect time for us. We mentioned this last month too. When you come in to get your flu shot, that's the perfect time for us to say, well, while we're here, how old are you? What other shots might you need at this point? What have you had? Let's look at that. And so for immunizations, although other than flu, most of them are any other time of the year is perfectly fine as well. It's just a perfect time for us to go, well, while you're here for a shot, let's look at some other issues you may need with your shots. So immunizations are very good at this time of year.
Fantastic. We've already talked about the number of prescriptions, well over 100,000 a year just by this local pharmacy. Are we a sick country? Honestly, that's a lot of prescriptions.
How much time do we have left? Yeah, that's very interesting. The number of prescriptions in our country goes up every single year. Part of that has to do with the aging population. The baby boomers are a significant part of the population, and they're taking a whole lot of medication right now. There's also a significant portion of that has to do with the fact that we don't take care of ourselves. In Alabama, a lot of us don't take care of ourselves, and that means by the way we eat, by the amount of exercise we get or don't get. And back to something I said earlier, the way that we maybe don't take our medications correctly. Unfortunately, some people are on a bunch of medication because they haven't used the ones they were supposed to be using correctly in the first place.
Wow.
Unfortunately true.
Yeah. We're talking with Jacob and Jared from Marble City Pharmacy here on Daybreak this morning. And to be a part of, and this is a team at Marble City Pharmacy, this healthcare team, there's a number of people that when you go into the drugstore, you see behind the counter. What are some of the stuff these guys do?
That's a good question, because people say, y'all come and say, y'all got 7 pharmacists back there. Oh, no. So behind the counter in a pharmacy, you're going to see pharmacists. The majority of the people you see are going to be considered pharmacy technicians. Those are folks that they have to be licensed and monitored by the state, but they don't have to go to pharmacy school. They work under the supervision of the pharmacist. We have, of course, clerks at the cash registers that ring up prescriptions. We often have pharmacy students that we help educate from the local pharmacy schools, from Auburn primarily. So you'll see a pharmacy student or two usually floating around back there. So there's a lot of bodies. A lot of bodies doing different roles behind the counter. And so usually though, pharmacists, pharmacy technicians, and pharmacy students.
I bet it's neat to see high school students who began working there have climbed up through the ranks now, and they're pursuing the same career.
Oh, it's fantastic. At least 2 of the 4 that started at Auburn this year have worked for us in the past. There was another one we wanted to hire, but we just didn't have space for him. And that's a message for all of you guys out there. We love to have people who are interested in being pharmacists come spend time with us. We often have 4th-year students, as Jacob said, who are in pharmacy school at Auburn about to graduate. We got 2 more starting today. And so if you're thinking about becoming a pharmacist, you're in high school, you want to check it out, come spend some time with us. We love that sort of thing.
What is the biggest challenge that pharmacists face in 2017?
Wow. Let's take it from 2 different roads. Let's take it, practically, and let's take it medically. Medically, which is more important, the biggest challenge Jared already mentioned. We know how to get people the medications they need and what they can do. We just need to help you get to taking them right. On the other side, biggest challenge, practically, financially, whatever, way behind the scenes, people don't care about this, again, is dealing with insurers and payers and the federal government more often than not, and state government more often than not, getting paid properly, getting cost things figured out so that we can still be here tomorrow. And so, pharmacists internally are going to face challenges financially. That's our job to deal with. That's not everybody else's job to worry about or deal with. We'll worry about that. Our job for you guys to worry about is let's get our medications taken properly, because eventually, if we can invent all the new medications that we can invent for every disease, but if we're not going to take them, it doesn't matter. A pill in a bottle or a pill in my hand isn't doing me any good. A pill that I take right is what's doing me good. And so that's our biggest challenge.
And finally, this morning, with the holiday season upon us, you guys not just provide medication, but you have a great gift selection just in time for the holiday season.
Couldn't have said it better
That wasn't
myself.
on my notes right here, but I thought to bring it up.
We've trained you well.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, we got a fantastic new line of things for the fall. That'll be transitioning to Christmas stuff here real soon if it hasn't already. And we got gifts for every single person on your list. So come check it out.
All right. Thank you both for being with us this morning.
Thank you much.
Thanks a lot.
All right. More Daybreak coming up on the other side of this timeout.